Tenny presents Animal Farm by George Orwell.
An ideal, once proclaimed, can become a powerful weapon. For the animals of Manor Farm, their lives under the human master, Mr. Jones, were defined by misery and slavery. But out of that collective suffering, a powerful, unifying dream was born. A future where animals were free, working for their own prosperity, in a society built on absolute equality. This spark of rebellion, ignited by a respected old boar, would lead them to overthrow their oppressor in a stunning uprising. They would create a new world. Animal Farm, governed by a simple sacred law. All animals are equal. It was a perfect dream, made real. But a perfect dream is a fragile thing, especially when a new kind of leader is waiting in the wings.
Now, the story itself.
The dream began with old Major. The word had gone round during the day that he had a strange dream and wished to communicate it to the other animals.
Comrades, I do not think, comrades, that I shall be with you for many months longer, and before I die, I feel it my duty to pass on to you such wisdom as I have acquired. Now, comrades, what is the nature of this life of ours? Let us face it, our lives are miserable, laborious, and short. The life of an animal is misery and slavery. That is the plain truth, because nearly the whole of the produce of our labor is stolen from us by human beings. There, comrades, is the answer to all our problems. It is summed up in a single word: man. Man is the only real enemy we have. Remove man from the scene, and the root cause of hunger and overwork is abolished forever. That is my message to you, comrades. Rebellion. It is called Beasts of England.
And he sang,
Beasts of England.
The singing was so loud, it woke Mr. Jones. But the seed of rebellion had been planted. The work of teaching and organizing fell to the pigs, who were generally recognized as being the cleverest of the animals. Preeminent among them were two young boars, Snowball and Napoleon. The rebellion happened much earlier than anyone expected. Mr. Jones got drunk, and for a whole day forgot to feed the animals. Manor Farm belonged to the animals.
Comrades, we have reduced the principles of animalism to 7 commandments.
They painted them on the barn wall. 7. All animals are equal. Boxer, the great horse, was an inspiration to all.
I will work harder.
But it was not all perfect. The milk from the cows had vanished. Squealer, a brilliant talker, was sent to explain.
Comrades, you do not imagine, I hope, that we pigs are doing this in a spirit of selfishness? We pigs are brain workers. It is for your sakes that we drink that milk and eat those apples. Jones would come back. Surely there is no one among you who wants to see Jones come back?
The animals agreed at once. The division of leadership soon became clear. Snowball and Napoleon were in disagreement at every point where disagreement was possible. Snowball's greatest project was the windmill.
And after that, we shall only have to work 3 days a week.
Napoleon, however, argued against it.
If we waste time on the windmill, we will all starve to death.
Just as it seemed Snowball would win the vote, Napoleon stood up. He uttered a high-pitched whimper. Immediately, 9 enormous dogs dashed straight for Snowball. He fled and was seen no more. The animals were silent and terrified.
Comrades, from now on, the Sunday morning meetings will come to an end. All questions relating to the working of the farm will be settled by a special committee of pigs, presided over by myself. There will be no more debates.
Afterwards, Squealer was sent to explain.
Leadership is not a pleasure. And as for the windmill, that was actually Comrade Napoleon's own creation in the first place. The windmill is to be built after all.
All that year, the animals worked like slaves, but they were happy in their work, well aware that everything they did was for their own benefit.
I will work harder.
And then he added a new motto.
Napoleon is always right.
Soon, Napoleon announced a new policy.
Animal Farm will engage in trade with the neighboring farms.
The animals were conscious of a vague uneasiness.
Have you any record of such a resolution? Is it written down anywhere? No, comrades, you have dreamed it.
Around this time, the pigs suddenly moved into the farmhouse. Clover asked Benjamin to read her the fourth commandment on the barn wall.
No animal shall sleep in a bed with sheets.
Somehow, the commandment had changed.
The rule was against sheets, which are a human invention. Surely none of you wishes to see Jones back.
And so, the matter was settled. One night, the windmill was found in ruins.
Comrades, do you know the enemy who has overthrown our windmill? Snowball.
But a terrible new chapter had begun. Squealer began to spread stories that Snowball was a saboteur. Then Napoleon called a meeting. His dogs dragged forward 4 young pigs.
Confess your crimes.
The pigs confessed to being in league with Snowball. When they had finished, the dogs promptly tore their throats out. Others came forward and confessed to various fabricated crimes. They were all slaughtered on the spot. The air was heavy with the smell of blood.
This is not what we aimed at when we set out to overthrow the human race.
They began to sing Beasts of England, but Squealer appeared.
By special decree of Comrade Napoleon, the Beasts of England has been abolished. The rebellion is now complete. The song is no longer needed.
The second windmill was built, only to be destroyed in a battle with a neighboring farmer. Boxer, who had fought valiantly, was wounded.
I will work harder.
But one day, while dragging a load of stone, his lung gave out. He collapsed.
Comrade Napoleon has made arrangements to send Boxer to be treated in the hospital.
A few days later, a closed van arrived to take him away. But Benjamin the donkey, who could read, came galloping towards them.
Fools, fools, do you not see what is written on the side of that van? They are taking Boxer to the knackers.
But it was too late. The van drove away. 3 days later, Squealer announced that Boxer had died peacefully.
His last words were, "Forward, comrades. Long live Comrade Napoleon. Napoleon is always right."
That night, a rumor went round that the pigs had somehow acquired the money to buy another case of whiskey. Years passed. Most of the animals who remembered the rebellion were dead. Their lives were just as hard as they had ever been. Then one evening, a startling sight was seen. Out of the farmhouse came Squealer, walking on his hind legs. Last of all came Napoleon himself, majestically upright. He carried a whip in his trotter. Just as some animals might have protested, the sheep broke into a tremendous bleating.
4 legs good, 2 legs better.
Benjamin led Clover to the end of the big barn, where the 7 commandments were written. There was only one commandment left. It ran, "All animals are equal. But some animals are more equal than others." One night, the animals were drawn by the sound of laughter from the farmhouse. They crept up to the window and looked in. There, around a long table, sat 6 farmers and 6 of the more eminent pigs. One of the farmers complimented the pigs on the low rations and long working hours of the other animals. Napoleon replied, announcing that the name Animal Farm had been abolished.
Henceforward, the farm was to be known as the Manor Farm, which I believe is its correct and original name.
Napoleon and Mr. Pilkington had each played an ace of spades simultaneously. The creatures outside looked from pig to man, and from man to pig, and from pig to man again. But already it was impossible to say which was which.
Next time on Tenny Presents Hansel and Gretel from the collection Grimm's Fairy Tales. by Brothers Grimm. The story you have just heard is a warning about a darkness that can grow in the heart of a society. But the tale that follows, from the Brothers Grimm, speaks of a more ancient and primal fear. It is a darkness found not in the state, but in the depths of the forest, where lost children find a house made of candy and a welcome that is far, far too sweet.